Hello, friend. Good morning, good evening. I hope everyone is doing good. So today topic I'm going to explain about the Informatica optimizing target. Right? If you notice, I was explain everything like in performance tuning topic. Right? How to bottleneck identify uh, in these chapters. So here after that, once you identify the bottleneck in your Informatica mapping, then you can start optimizing that thing. Optimizing means you can start the fixing. If you need to optimize or if you need to fix that thing, you need to some points, right, where you need to obtain what things you need to write. So that things I will explain in detail here, so that you can just give me I will explain in detail how to optimize and what process I would need to optimize. So here there is some topic I will explain in details. So in there some topic, what topic I will explain, the topic is actually uh, to be covered here, like how optimizing flat files, okay, dropping index and key constraint, okay, so increasing database checkpoints. So these topic I will cover in this session. And using bulk load, suppose if you're going to use bulk load, then what concept, suppose uh, based on your scenario mapping, you need to use these points using external using external load, okay. So minimizing the deadlock, increasing database network packet size, okay. So optimizing oracle target database, okay. So these point I will explain in detail in this slide, so that you need to understand. After that, I will take some a technical session, and I will just show you how to fix this thing, and where you need to identify. The first point, if you notice, there is optimizing flat file. Suppose you have using target as a flat file, like you're taking the data in text format or excel or csv format, right? So there, how to what things you need to notice, and you can optimize. And second thing, dropping index. Suppose you are using a relational database, and during the load time, what things need to be um, re- uh, 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 focus, right, so that you can optimize your mapping, correct. So there is first point is flat file. So in flat files, there is some point, right? So point is need to remember. What point need to remember? We need to remember, like if you use a shared storage, right? Suppose shared storage means if you're created some directory in your unix directory, right, and the directory using for other person also, they are reading data, some data, and writing some other places. So that's what they are told, like if you use a shared directory for a flat file target, you can optimize session performance by ensuring that the shared storage directory is on a machine, okay, that is dedicated to storing and managing files, correct. Instead of performing other tasks, if the integration service run on a single node and the session writes, okay, session writes to a flat file target, okay, if you can optimize the session performance by writing a flat file target to that is local to integration service process node, okay. I hope you get that point. Means that each local, suppose you're transferring some other area, right, and there is some shared location. So instead of shared location, you need to write the target in a local area. After that, then local to integration will process the node, okay. So these things you need to modify in your mapping, then you can perform to optimize the flat file target. Suppose your flat file are taking more huge time, like you identify the bottleneck in your target site, then during that time you need to fix these points, correct. After that, dropping index and key constraints. Suppose you are using a relational database. In that case, in that case, what you need to identify, you need to check when you define a constraint or index in a target table, right? You slow the loading. Suppose you are loading the data with indexes, right? So in that case, your data will be load would take huge time, because here they are going to check your constraint and then create the constraint, right, storing some of your data, then loading. So in that case, to improve performance, drop indexes and a key constraint before you run the session. Okay, during the pre-session you need to write that code to drop that index from the target table. Post load, right, you can rebuild those indexes and the key constraint after the session. Post session you can write to create the index and rebuild that indexes, so that if you decide to drop and rebuild indexes and the key constraint on a regular basis, you can use the following method. What method I need to use preload, right, and the post load stored procedure. So you can use the stored procedure transformation. In that transformation you can write the target title in preload. When you preload, right, there is some option in pre side you can select, and your target will be indexes will be dropped from the pre during the reading the data, right. When we write the data once, then your indexes will be created. To use pre session and post session SQL command. Okay, there is two option. You can write any of them you can use and write. Both will be work fastly, there is no issue. Okay, so no, to optimize performance, use constraint based loading only if necessary, right. So in that case, what in note we need to write, suppose if any necessary, right, you need to use constraint based loading, then in that case only you can reuse. Otherwise you always just try to remove that indexage and constraint, then you can start loading. Okay, so yeah, moving on next slide. Next slide is just increasing database checkpoint interval, right. So what does this point, that this point is actually uh, do the integration service like perform slow, right, each time it's wait for the database to perform its checkpoints, right, to decrease the number of checkpoints and increase the performance. In that case, increase the checkpoint interval in the database. Okay, so in that case, what things need to remember, although you gain performance when you reduce the number of checkpoints, okay, you also increase the recovery time if database shut down unexpectedly, right. Sometimes database shut down, right, in any case, then in that case your recovery should be done in very fast. Okay, so in next point is the bulk load, right. So you can use bulk loading, right. In bulk loading, to improve the performance of a session that insert large amount. Suppose you have a huge millions of records, right, data you need to insert in your database. In that case, the amount of data into a db2 Sybase, like there is some relational database, Microsoft SQL Server database. So in that case, you configure the bulk loading in the session properties. Okay, so when bulk loading, the integration service bypass the database log. Okay, they are not writing the log each and everything, which speeds performing. Okay, without writing to the database log. However, the target database cannot perform the rollback. In that case, the rollback option cannot be done. So as a result, you may not be able to perform recovery. Okay, so when you use the bulk loading, right, with in that importance of this improved session of performance against the ability to recovery and incomplete session. Okay, so when a bulk loading, right, in that case, when you bulk loading to Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle target, define a large commit, right. Suppose you, by default someone define 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000. In bulk loading you can define the 50,000. Yeah, just increase the commit interval, so that once the data, but yeah, just expected based on your the source record, right, you can update your commit interval. Okay, so in that Microsoft SQL Server Oracle start a new bulk load transaction after each commit, increasing the commit interval, reduce the number of bulk load transaction, which increase the performance. Okay, so using the external loader, what is the external loader? External loader is actually to increase the session performance, configure Power Center. Okay, in Power Center to use an external loader for the following types of target data. Which type of database? The type of database is actually like IBM, DB2, okay, Triple E, okay, and other is Oracle. When you load the data to an Oracle database, okay, using pipeline with a multiple partitions. correct? Partition each based on the multiple thing like a range, the database, like if you're yearly, monthly you have created the partition in table, right? You can delete your record, or you can archive somewhere move somewhere. So in that case, so that your table, lead transactional table is smooth, and olap you can move a olap so that you can for report purpose you can use for the reporting. Okay, so you can increase performance if you create the Oracle target table with the same number of partition you use for the pipeline. Okay, in Sybase IQ, if the Sybase IQ database is local, right, to the integration service process on Unix system, you can increase performance by loading data. Okay, to target table directly from named pies. If you run that integration service on a grid, right, configure the load balancer to check resource, make a Sybase IQ a resources, and make the resources available on all node, okay, of the grid. Then in the workflow manager, assign the Sybase IQ resources to the application session. Correct. So these are the point of external. So how to minimizing the deadlock? In deadlock, deadlock point you understand like what is the deadlock. So similar things is applicable in Informatica as well, because this one is also using the relational database and and the process. So in this case, if the integration service encountered somewhere, suppose your services is encountered sometimes, right, a deadlock when it tries to write to database, in that time uh, it writes a data to target. The deadlock only affect target in the same target connection group. Okay. S- the integration service still write to target in the other target connection group. Okay. So why here saying deadlock happen, where each there is multiple group, right? So it will be affect only particular that group. Okay. So encountering deadlock can slow session performance. To improve session performance, you can increase the number of target connection. Okay, group. The integration service used to write to the target in the session to use a different target connection group for each target. Okay, so why you are saying the create a multiple target connection? Suppose you are going to write, just create a connection based on your like folder wise or some application wise or some region wise, so that in when they are going to load, right, some data, in that case they just use a small means each specific connection. Okay, so it will be reduce your minimizing deadlock. So you can specify the same configuration for each connection name. Information in background, the value should be same, but name should be changed. Okay. Now increasing the database network. Suppose if your network failure, right, a network issue. In that case, you need to use the network database network packet size. If you write Oracle, Sybase, or Microsoft SQL Server, you can improve the performance by increasing the network packet size. Okay, increase the network packet size to allow larger packet. Okay, cross the network at one time. Increase the network packet size based on the database. Okay, so in Oracle, you can increase the database server network packet size. In Listener, there is a listener aura and a TNS aura. Consult your database documentation additional function about increasing the packet size if necessary. Okay, if required. So in Sybase SC and Microsoft SQL Server, consult your DB documentation for information about how to increase the packet size. For Sybase and other relational database, you must to change also change the packet size in the relational connection object in the workflow manager to reflect the database server. So these are all about the network packet size, how to increase the network size, because you don't increase by yourself, because it's involved by your DBA. You check with your DBA, they can check entire things like and all availability, then they can increase. So as a developer, you need to change your mapping level. Just try to always set everything as mapping shape, whatever you can do as a technical part. After that, yeah, this information you can inform your DBA. Yeah, this is the possibility. You can check if possible. You can increase your network packet size as well, so that because we are not able to fix here, because everything we have fixed, there is no any option available. Okay, so there is other option like network packet size also that you can please set the in this file you need to change and increase the packet size. Okay. So now optimizing Oracle target database. So if the target database is Oracle, right, you can optimize the target database by checking the storage class, or what things, space allocation, and the rollback or undo segment. These 3 points you need to check and optimize the Oracle target database. Like second point, you when you write to an Oracle database, check the storage class. Okay, database effect, make sure that table are using large initial and the next value. Okay, the database should also store table and indexes data in separate table space, preferably like a different ticks. Okay, when you write to Oracle database, the database use rollback or undo segment during loads. Ask the Oracle database admin to ensure that database stores rollback or undo segment in appropriate table space, because everything if not appropriate table space, that will be difficult to uh, rollback. Okay, preferable in different is rollback or undo segment should also be have appropriate storage class. Fourth point is optimizing the Oracle database. Tune the Oracle redo log. Oracle database use the redo log to log loading operations. Okay, make sure the redo log size and buffer size are optimal. Okay, you can view redo log property in the init.ora. Correct. If the integration service runs on a single node and the Oracle instance is a local to the integration service process node, you can optimize performance by using IPC protocol to connect to the Oracle database. You can set up proper Oracle database connection in a listener Aura and TNS.Aura. Okay. So in all about the in today's session, right? What things I was explain. If you notice bottleneck, I was explain at 5 places: target, source, mapping, transformation, and uh, network area, system area. So same way in every places I will explain the how to optimize this thing. So today's session I was entire process how to optimize the target thing. So I was explain, just I'm summarizing here. I was explain like bulk loading. You can use bulk loading, you can use the target, you can if you're the flat file, right, you can just distribute like first load the local, then you can transfer your file to your share storage. Okay, so these things you need to use and price. Okay, so thanks for watching, just keep subscribing. Okay, and then to watch, and if any question you can inform. Okay, thanks for watching.